Hello, this video is going to be about YMAX, stock ticker YMAX, and where the price of the stock could go into the future. So, I've created a script with Grok 3. I asked Grok 3, hey, what are the greatest indicators for tracking a stock? And it said RSI Bollinger Bands, and then I created my own market cipher script. And so even on my own script, YMAX is looking for a bounce, but YMAX is based on the stocks in YMAX, which means we should go to the overall market. The overall market is way outside of the Bollinger Band, so the overall market is still looking for a bounce. We're not done yet. Where can we go to in the future? 580 is easy. 583. 583 looks like great resist points. If we go hit 583 and then go you chop sideways, that will bring the RSI back in. Okay? But what are some of the stocks that could be seeing the bounce in the next week? Okay, Netflix. First of all, Netflix, I think, is the stock to be watching next week. Netflix, I want to see a break of 900, and I kid you not, a bounce back into 950. Break of 100. There's a spot here down below at 803. I do not believe in such nonsense. I do not. All right. This is such an incredible candle. You have no clue. I mean, I have no clue. No one has no clue. Well, some people that took the risk have a clue, but that's not the point. The point is it is ready for a bounce on the weekly chart. It is looking for a reason, and I think it has the reason. It's got some resistance above to a test, and it's going to hold that resistance above because of all the people that are goddamn short in the stock, most likely. Here's my example. See this level right here? That's about 940. Where does that line up on the daily chart? Right where the moving average will be in the next week. Perfect level, 940, 950. It's going to bounce. If it doesn't, then, well, I don't know. Then maybe I'm reading this wrong. But let's go into a smaller time frame. It's going to bounce. It's got the movement. There's no guarantee it will. This indicator is so good. Oh, the 2 hours got a nice upside. Upside cross. 1 hour? 1 hour's gotta be. The 1 hour, okay. The 1 hour today was overbought. It cooled off in the after hours. Watch us test one of these higher candles of 875, 876, and take off into the great wide open of 900 and beyond. But I think Netflix is the only thing worth watching next week. Microsoft has its days. Microsoft and Google had its day. Now, the monthly chart scares me. The monthly chart, 390. 390 hold. Let's hold 390 on the monthly chart for Microsoft. The highest we can probably get is 403. It's good for it's good for some continuation bounce. This could be an RSI cool off into a bounce. Into some positive money flow index. Microsoft looks pretty good. Let's go to the 4 hour. It's got positive money flow index, so that's bullish. It's got some testing that it wants to do. It wants to test it. Look, we go back in history. testing 1 2 3, right? Yeah, and so one of these days it's gonna look at that. Okay, so there's 1 2, and then we gotta go for a third and hit 513. Look at this. It could be a giant bear flag. It could be a giant bear flag. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Where have I seen this before? I think I know where I've seen it before. Clone. Move it to the top. Oh, this is a giant bear flag. Clone. Look at this. The top of the bear flag. I think we just got it. I think we got it. Next week, Microsoft will keep the SPY sideways, building this bear flag to move lower to 376. Look at that. Right there. Okay, why do I say that? Well, let's look at GME. GME. I've been watching this for a little bit now. Look at what it's built. It's built this little bear flag descending triangle. Descending triangle. Everything's bearish. There's no reason to buy yet. There's negative RSI. Well, the money flow index is getting neutral, but there's negative RSI and there's negative stochastic. We're looking at more downside for GME, maybe a little bounce because of the money flow index, but it is overall negative. It's been negative for an entire month. If we look on the weekly chart, it's not oversold, and it's still in a weekly downtrend. We go to the monthly chart for GME. There's so many bears. Oh, the bears are gonna, there's so many bulls. I mean, the bulls are gonna cry if they ever look at the monthly chart. They're gonna cry. We got levels of 23, 29, 23, 30, and 22, 20. We just had a cross down on the... Okay, it's going to get real bad. It's going to get real bad when the RSI crosses below the Bollinger Band movement. It's got negative money flow index. They're not going to be happy at all. They're gonna spam trading view chat. It's gonna be disgusting. T. Now T, I did not realize that there was gonna be so many gosh darn buyers on this dip. All right, we go to the 1 hour. We can see it a little bit better. But look at the buyers come in. This is the lower high. This was the blow off top. Okay, we had our blow off top. Now we have the lower high. All right, this lower high, I don't know why the lower high, but I guess I'll die. So a lower high, bearish, right? So let's go back and retest the 2650 for T. Everyone's looking at 23 though. And watch out for GME. Now BTC. All right. I know for a fact that in one of my latest videos that I said it's going to go gosh darn sideways down. Like it's not going to go up. It had its bounce and it's going to go sideways down. Now, I am going to surprise you in this video. Bitcoin will have another it's primed for another bounce. It's ready. In the weekly chart, it is ready. I am ready. Where can it go into the future? Well, this 90K level is beautiful, but if you look at the 20 moving average on the chart, it's already curled down. It's a little bit lower than 90K. So now 90K is going to be a giant wall, I think, in the future. In bouncing, if it bounces, if it gets a little bounce, you know, I think 90K would be the limit again. All right, for this weekly candle, we go to the daily chart. BTC is about to have almost a negative sentiment RSI cross down, and another cross down of the blue over the yellow. Now, I would not pick a position on the daily based on this indicator. This indicator, I would have entered in this cross. Now, that you had to have been quick. Now, I've been trading this indicator for quite a while. Let's go to the 4 hour. Oh, the 4 hour is ready for a little bit of a bounce. Really, it's a not a bounce, but like a movement. Look at the Bollinger Band tighten up, but the sentiment is negative. We got negative RSI. We're not oversold, and we got negative movement. So it looks like 84K is in the near future. 84K and then a bounce, because look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart is ready for another bounce. There needs to be a reason for the bounce. So 84K Bitcoin. Why 84K? Well, let's look. I don't know. There's a dotted line on my screen for 84K, and I don't know why. Oh, 84K. Duh, I'm an idiot. If we go back to the weekly. All right. There's a bull flag. This bull flag from February 2024 to September 2024 bull flag has a target of 84K. So 84K is a major level. So I'm not surprised. I am not surprised that Bitcoin is going to build a level on 84K. Watch it. Or between the, if you interpret the bull flag a different way. There's so many things to talk about and so little time. But I think the weekly has it in for a bounce, but the 4 hour says we're going to probably hit 44K first, or 84K first. Oh my God. Did I say 44K? 84K into failure into 81K, and then launch up into the stratosphere back to these moving averages, because moving averages are like magnets. So if they shoot it below 84K, expect one of these previous candle closes of 80K and 81K to be a trampoline. And now we already had a low, a higher low, and now this could be the higher low. 84K is still the higher low. 84K is still the higher low. 84K bounce, take us into the future. And what other stock should we talk about? I don't know. MSTR and coin are pretty much based on Bitcoin. And I talked about Netflix. Meta is in no-go zone. Meta on the 4 hour looks like just sideways. Meta's sideways. AMD is a sleeper. AMD I think is a buy. AMD next week, buy. AMD next week. There's big bottom wick. We go to the monthly chart. No, AMD is not a buy. What was it on a buy? Oh, only on the daily chart. The daily chart is just a DCA, a dollar cost average. I would not buy. Well, yeah. 106 AMD on the daily chart. 106 AMD. It has potential to reverse. It's never been this low before. The last time it was this low, it was 2012, 2013. It has never been this low before. I expect a bounce, a reversal. There's got to be a reversal on AMD. It's never been this low before. Well, it has. In the crash of 2008 and 7, it could go lower. 2009, it was lower. So it could grind lower, but there's going to be a bounce. AMD, I think, is going to be the next Netflix and AMD.